When used effectively, Google Slides can be a powerful tool for enhancing elementary education. In this tutorial, I'll demonstrate some of the basic functions within Google Slides. So the first thing you need to do in order to get working with Google Slides is you need to create a new presentation. So the way you do that is you just go up to Create, click Create, and select Presentation. Once it loads up, it will ask you which type of theme you'd like to use and which size you'd like to use for your slides. I've been setting mine to widescreen just because that's the type of projector we have in our classroom. And for this tutorial, I'll just select Simple Light, but there's all kinds of other different fun themes that you can choose from. And even if you select one in the beginning and decide you want to change it, you can do that later. So I'll go ahead and just select the Simple Light. Once you have that, you'll see that this slideshow looks a lot like the Microsoft PowerPoint. This is just Google's version, and there's a few differences. The first thing you'll want to do once you get your slideshow going is to give it a name. So you do that by clicking in the untitled presentation, and we'll call this one just Sample Slideshow. Once it has a name, we can go ahead and begin building our slideshow. So the first thing I want to show you is how to create new slides. And the way you do that is up here in the top left corner, you'll see there's a plus button and a drop down arrow button. So there's two ways you can do this. One, if you click the plus, it'll just add the default type of slide with a title box on top and then a large text box on the bottom. If that's the kind of slide you want, that's totally fine. But if you want something different, here's how you do it. You click in this drop down arrow and it'll ask you which type of layout do you want. Do you want blank? Do you want it with a caption text box on the bottom? Title only? Title with the slide? Title and body? Or title in two columns? It's really just up to you. For this tutorial, I'll show you how to do some things with a blank one. So I've put some text into this slide. The next thing I want to show you is how to change the layout and theme. If you have your slideshow going and decide you want to change either one of these, it's very simple to do. All you need to do is go up here to the Slide tab and select Slide, and then you can go to where it says Apply Layout, and this is how, if you want to change the layout, say you want to put pictures on one side and text on the other, well, maybe you want it to look like this with a title in two columns. And see how it just reformatted it, so now all the text that I typed in that box is over on the left side, and then we have space over here on the right to either add more text or a picture. If you'd like to change the theme of the slide to give it a little more color or liven it up, you can do so with a similar process. All you need to do is select Slide and go down to Change Theme, and it will give you that list of options again if you'd like to change it to a different color. Let's try this with the wave theme. And now you see all of our slides have that blue colorful wave theme, and it's also changed the color of our text. Another popular tool with Google Slides is to add hyperlinks and images to help make your presentation become better and more efficient. In order to add links, you'll just click in one of the text boxes and select Insert, and then you can go down here to Link, and you could copy and paste a link from a website. For instance, here I have this Google image search on cats, so we can just select the whole address and copy it with Command and C, or right click and copy. Then we'll go back here and we're just going to paste it with Command V. And we can select text. We can say, click here to see pictures of cats. And we'll click Apply. And we'll see that this has created a hyperlink for our pictures of cats. So anytime the students are viewing this presentation, they could click here to see cats or any other linked content that you'd like to show. Another way to enhance your slideshows and your presentations is by adding images and pictures to make them a little bit more engaging. So there's a few different ways to do this, and I'll show you all of them briefly, and then I'll also recommend which ones I would use when you're teaching your students how to do this. So one way to add pictures is just by clicking Insert and going down to Image. Now it'll give you a few options. One is to upload. You can just upload an image that if it lives on your hard drive on your computer, you can navigate to it and select it and click Upload. Another way is to take a snapshot. This just allows Google to log in to your computer's camera, and it'll take a screenshot from your camera, similar to like using Skype or FaceTime, something like that. The option to insert an image by URL just allows you to insert an image based on its web address. So if you find a link to an image, you can copy that link and select it in there. This allows you to upload images from your Google Albums. If you use the app Picasa or you have albums of pictures on Google, you can do that, or you can also do it through Google Drive. I recommend for students to use this function, the search function. When you click on it, it just brings up a basic Google search. So we'll type in here cats. And we'll say, hey, we want a picture of this guy. He looks like my cat at home. So I'll just select him and then click Select. And you'll see this will bring up an image here of your cat. Now, you'll oftentimes find that you may need to resize these pictures. I would suggest teaching your students to resize by dragging down from the corner. This resizes the whole picture without messing up the scale of it too much. If you resize it by dragging straight up or straight across, you'll see that the picture can kind of start to look funky. So let me show you what I mean. I'll go ahead and drag this up. And now we've made the cat look a lot taller than he was supposed to be. And also, you see if you drag to the side, it'll kind of distort the proportions of the picture. So you may want to have your kids drag diagonally. It's totally up to you, totally up to the students. Let them play around with it and see what they like best. Another way to insert images is by dragging them directly over from a Google search. This would work well if your students were already searching for different images or different research. They could just go ahead and find the picture they like that's in this list. And I like this one with a little cat with the bow tie. He's a cutie. So I'm just going to click on him and hold down on the mouse. And I'm going to drag him over into my Slideshow tab. And then just drop it by releasing the mouse and letting him stay right there. So now we have this little cutie with the bow tie in here. The last way I want to show you to how to insert pictures is by using the research function in Google. Now I showed you a little bit about this in the Google Docs tutorials, but this function works also in Google Slides. So if you go up to Tools and go to the Research mode, it brings up a Google Search tab where you can search for different things that you'd want to be in your slideshow. So for instance, we could do images. And let's just select cats again because we're on the cats kick for this one. And here again, it just kind of brings up just the same screen we were looking at earlier, but it's all within the same window instead of the students having to go back and forth from tab to tab. I've seen that firsthand get a little confusing for some students. So depending on your students and their comfort with the technology, you could teach them a few different ways to do this and they could still get to the same spot. So here, when we bring this picture in, we'll just drag him in there. And you'll see that when we drag this way, it brings in a link to the page with it. So this can be helpful for the kids in that it cites it, one, and two, when they're viewing their presentation, they can actually click on this picture and it will link them to the website where the picture came from. Another really great tool to enhance your slideshow presentations is by inserting text box and word art. So the way you do that, I'm going to show you this on a blank page. If you had something you wanted to say in your presentation, you could do so by selecting Insert and then either choosing a text box or a word art. There's not much difference between the two, except for a text box is more just basic text versus word art is more for like labels and headings, and if you want your words to stand out more so than just normal font. So I'll show you an example of both. Let's just select a text box here, and you'll see that my mouse changes to this crosshairs. So I'm just going to click and drag diagonally to make a text box, and I'll type in here. So now I have this text box. I can change all of my text. I can format it. I can make it bold, underline. I could change the font. Very similar to how we edit our text with Google Docs. All the functions are pretty much the same. You can even change the color, the line color. We can make that blue, and we can make the fill color yellow. So now we have a text box. Let me show you real quick the difference between a text box and word art. So again, we'll go up to Insert, and we'll go to Word Art. And let's just give it something to say in here. Let's type, I like going to school. So now I have a text box, and you'll see the difference between this and the word art. This is just a little bit better looking. It jumps out at you, I think, in my opinion. So let me show you how to edit this really quickly. You can just click on it, and then you can go up here into your fonts and select different kinds. Let's try this one, this Bolby one. I like it because it's big and blocky. So then sometimes you see when you change your word art, you're going to have to reformat the box to get it all fitting in there. And now I have a word art bubble that says I like going to school. You can also, just like the text box, you can change the line color, and you can change the fill color. So now I have a text box and a word art that pops out at you. Once you have all of your formatting and your text and everything input into your slideshow, it's important to know how to present it to the students. So the way you do that is you want to click on the slide where you want to start with. I want to start on slide 1. And then you're going to go up here into the View tab, and you're going to click View and go to Present. This will bring your presentation into full screen mode. And in order to go between slides, you just use the arrow keys on your computer, or you can click your mouse. Either one works. So when you've said your piece about the title slide, you can go on to the next one. And we'll see here is our sample slideshow about our cats, and it's got a link to our cats, so you could click here to go to the link. And here is our Google search with the cat's images. We can go back to our slideshow by clicking on this tab, and we'll click Return to Full Screen. And now we remember this picture of the flying furball kitty we got from the research function. So it left a link, and you can see when my mouse hovers over the regular part of the slide, it's a regular mouse. When I hover over the link, it turns into a pointer finger. So when we click this link, it will take us to the linked picture of the cat that we got from research mode. And we'll just hit the arrow key to go on to the end, and you'll see our last slide with our text box and our word art saying, "Here's my typing, I like going to school." So these are just some of the basic functions with using Google Sheets. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments section. I'll do my best to respond to all of them. Thanks, and have a good day.